Ladies and gentlemen, imagine walking into a grocery store. The shelves are full, colors are vibrant, packages shout for your attention. But hidden inside many of those boxes and bags is something far more powerful than we realize: ultra-processed foods. Today, I want to show you what these foods do inside your body. Not just on the surface, but at the cellular level where your health is truly determined. When we hear the word processed, many of us think convenience. Quick meals, snacks that last forever, things we can grab on the go. What science now tells us is that ultra-processed foods are not just harmless conveniences. They are active agents of change in your body and not the kind of change you want. To understand why, we need to step back and look at food not simply as fuel, but as a form of biological information. Every time you take a bite, that bite communicates with your DNA, with your metabolism, with your hormones, with your gut bacteria. A fresh apple or a bowl of leafy greens sends one kind of message. Messages that support your blood vessels, your immunity, your repair systems. But an ultra-processed food, that sends an entirely different set of instructions. So what are we talking about when we say ultra-processed? These are foods that have been transformed far beyond their natural state. They're made not just with salt, sugar, and fat, but with industrial additives, colorings, preservatives, emulsifiers, and stabilizers, substances created in laboratories that your body never evolved to process, are designed for taste, for shelf life, for profit margins, but not for your biology. And yet, every year, ultra-processed foods make up more and more of the human diet worldwide. In some countries, more than half of the average person's calories come from these foods. That means more than half of the messages our bodies are receiving are disruptive ones. Let's go inside the body for a moment. When you consume an ultra-processed food, the first place it interacts with is your mouth and your digestive system. The problem starts almost immediately. These foods are engineered to be hyper-palatable, which means they overstimulate your taste buds and your brain's reward centers. A fresh berry has natural sweetness that balances with fiber, slowing down absorption, keeping your blood sugar steady. A sugary soda or candy bar, on the other hand, is like pouring gasoline on a fire. Your blood sugar skyrockets, insulin surges, and your metabolism gets thrown off balance. Over time, this constant surge and crash wears down your pancreas and sets the stage for type 2 diabetes. But that's just the beginning. As these foods are broken down, the additives and emulsifiers start to interact with the delicate ecosystem of bacteria living in your gut. Your gut microbiome is like a rainforest, teeming with life, each species playing a role in your immunity, your metabolism, even your mood. Ultra-processed foods act like a bulldozer, flattening diversity and promoting the growth of harmful bacteria. Qualsifiers, substances designed to keep ingredients blended together in a product, also disrupt the mucus barrier that protects your intestinal lining. This can lead to what scientists call leaky gut, where inflammatory molecules slip into your bloodstream and spark chronic inflammation throughout the body. And chronic inflammation is a silent killer. It doesn't make headlines in your daily life, but it underpins some of the most feared diseases we know: heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's. Imagine tiny sparks of inflammation lighting up across your tissues day after day, year after year. That is what a steady diet of ultra-processed foods can do. Now, let's look at your blood vessels. They are lined with a thin layer called the endothelium, a kind of Teflon like coating that keeps blood flowing smoothly and prevents dangerous clots. Healthy foods like olive oil, green tea, and fruits actually support your endothelium, keeping your circulation resilient. But ultra-processed foods, especially those loaded with refined sugars and trans fats, damage this lining. The endothelium becomes sticky, plaques begin to form, arteries harden. The result is an increased risk of heart attacks and strokes. What about your brain? Food is fuel. Yes, but it is also chemistry. Ultra-processed foods hijack your brain's reward circuits. The combination of refined sugar, refined fat, salt is carefully engineered to light up dopamine pathways. The same pathways that are involved in addiction is why you can't stop at one chip, one cookie, or one slice of pizza. Your brain is being trained to crave more and more, while at the same time your satiety signals, the hormones that tell you you've had enough, get blunted. Over time, this not only leads to weight gain, but also rewires your brain in ways that resemble substance addiction. And there's another brain effect we need to talk about. Chronic consumption of ultra-processed foods has been linked to higher risks of depression and anxiety. This is partly because of the gut-brain axis. When your microbiome is damaged, when inflammation is coursing through your body, those signals don't just stay in the gut or the bloodstream. They reach the brain. Scientists now understand that food can literally alter neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. So when you eat ultra-processed foods regularly, you are not just changing your waistline, you are changing your state of mind. Now let's zoom out. What does all of this mean for your long-term health? It means that ultra-processed foods accelerate the aging process from the inside out. They erode your body's defense systems, your immune system, your DNA repair mechanisms, your blood vessel health. They push you toward chronic diseases decades earlier than necessary. And yet the most alarming thing is this: they do it silently. There's no warning light that goes off in your body when your microbiome diversity collapses. There's no siren when your endothelial lining starts to weaken. It happens gradually, invisibly, until one day you find yourself facing a diagnosis that seems sudden but has actually been building for years. But here's the most important part. This is not destiny. Food is one of the most powerful tools you have to shape your biology. If ultra-processed foods send harmful messages, whole, natural, minimally processed foods send healing ones. They restore balance to your gut bacteria, calm inflammation, protect your DNA, and reawaken your body's own defenses. Studies show that when people reduce their intake of ultra-processed foods, even by a modest amount, they begin to see improvements in weight, blood pressure, and mental health. Your body has an extraordinary ability to heal when given the right inputs. So the question becomes, how do we break free? The first step is awareness. Recognize that ultra-processed foods are not neutral. They are not simply empty calories. They are actively harmful. The second step is substitution. Instead of thinking about restriction, what you can't have, think about replacement. Choose foods that are close to their natural state. Whole fruits instead of sugary drinks. Nuts and seeds instead of packaged chips. Home-cooked meals made from real ingredients instead of boxes with a list of chemicals you can't pronounce. The third step is empowerment. Every time you choose real food, you are not just feeding yourself, you are rewriting the script of your biology. You are sending signals to your cells to thrive, to repair, to resist disease. This is not about perfection. Nobody is perfect. This is about tipping the balance in favor of foods that love you back instead of foods that betray you from the inside. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world where ultra-processed foods dominate the landscape. We also live in a world where science is revealing their impact more clearly than ever before. With that knowledge comes power. You have the power every single day, with every single bite, to choose health over harm, resilience over breakdown, vitality over decline. The decision might seem small in the moment, but over a lifetime, it is monumental. So, the next time you walk into that grocery store, remember this: the shelves may be full, the packages may be bright, but the real choice is invisible. It is not just about what fills your stomach. It is about what shapes your future. Ultra-processed foods can shorten and darken that future. Real, whole foods can lengthen it, brighten it, and empower you to live with energy, clarity, and strength. And that, my friends, is a choice worth making.